Alright guys, so you knew we had to come back and break down this new teaser trailer we got for FF7 Remake during the Symphonic Reunion concert for FF7. There's a good handful of things to go over, but it's clear that they cut out a lot of stuff and trimmed this thing up to not show certain things, and we're going to see more later today with their E3 press conference. So the trailer opens up with the iconic shot where you're about to enter the first Mako reactor. Initially I thought that this was a different take on the cover, and it kind of is to a degree, the cover of the original FF7, but this is actually an exact shot from the beginning of the game, and you're just seeing the modern take on that. From here, it moves on to show us Heidegger and President Shinra. They both look pretty different from the original game because they're both fat characters. Heidegger still looks like a pretty big guy, but he doesn't look as obese and fat as he did in the original game, and neither does Shinra. And you hear Heidegger reference Avalanche, which is kind of cool to hear for the first time.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
So from here, we get to see some generic combat, nothing too crazy. These are those little, like, robotic kind of bird enemies we see near the beginning of the game that I'm not even sure if we ever see again. From here, we actually get to see some turret enemies, and this is something I want to touch on really quickly, because I talk a lot about FF7 enemies, and how a lot of them don't make a logical sense, and this is alluding to stuff that I've been saying, where they're probably going to switch up certain enemies, and turrets are a good example of this, because you run into them as random encounters, right? But you're not going to just find turrets sitting around on the ground in every Mako reactor and stuff. A turret would logically be up on a higher area, elevated, and you got to use ranged combat, or get up to it, use magic, something, and it seems like that's true. Like, stuff I've been saying is coming true with this game. From here, we're going to see some more combat, of course. Nothing too crazy to break down. These are those like weird blue spiky hand enemies from the beginning of the game that you find in like every Mako reactor and Shinra location. We do get to see Cloud do a pretty cool like dodge roll thing, so maybe there's going to be an evasion button, a roll button, a dodge button, something like that. That's kind of cool to know. Going forward, we see this giant robot we've already seen from some of the previous trailers. It does seem like there is a lock-on feature. Looks like you can lock onto enemies, which is good. It's good for action combat, because if you're not that good at the game, or not really good at it, or not that accurate, being able to lock onto the enemies is going to be very beneficial. From here, we get the scene where the Avalanche group thinks that Cloud is possibly dead, but he's on top of the train car and he does like the flip inside, which they actually change if you pay attention. He doesn't actually flip inside, he just kind of swings in there, which I think is better. Like, it looks less goofy than him trying to do like some ridiculous flip for no damn reason. From there, we get a lot of combat, nothing too crazy. I mean, again, it's just combat. It looks cool, it looks great. I'm still trying to see some magic. I want to see a summon. We see some stuff with the Guard Scorpion. This fight looks like it's going to be so damn great, man. This fight looks so fun. It's so much better than the original game. He's such an iconic boss, even if he's at the very beginning of the game. It's still, like, one of the most iconic bosses from the game, because even if you played very little of FF7, you fought this boss. And from here, we get a very fantastic scene that I think is alluding to some great stuff with the game, where they're kind of questioning what they're doing, because they're essentially eco-terrorists, right? They're blowing up this Mako reactor, and people are probably getting harmed because of it. People are getting injured or killed because of this stuff that they're doing, and I think that is a great thing, alluding to some great storytelling for the remake, because it's something that the original game didn't really touch on that much.
This couldn't have been us.
But what if it was?
What's done is done.
It ain't pretty, but we can't stop now. This was just the first reactor.
Following this, we actually get a continuation from the last trailer. We get to see Cloud and Aerith together, but Cloud already has the flower in hand, so this is kind of insinuating that it takes place after that. But this is the weird-ass scene where we get like the Spectre fucking Wraith things, or whatever the hell it is, surrounding Cloud and Aerith. And we have a lot of theories for what this could be, but we actually do know what it is now. So one of the theories was that maybe it's just like a new enemy, a new random encounter that you fight inside of Midgar. The other one was that maybe it's something to do with Aerith being an ancient, being a Cetra, that maybe it's just something that she can see, or whatever the case. But we actually know now that they are linked to Sephiroth. So right here we got some badass key art for Sephiroth. I think this dropped yesterday, and if you actually scroll down and look a little bit, you can see these damn Wraith things right here all around Sephiroth. So this confirms that something I've been talking about a little bit on my channel too, whenever we broke down the initial State of Play trailer, about, people thought that maybe the fiery scene with Sephiroth takes place in the calm flashback. I think it takes place inside of Midgar. And I mean, this to me kind of looks like Sephiroth is going to be in Midgar. These things are connected to Sephiroth. The Aerith scene is the very beginning of the game. This is right after you blow up the damn Mako reactor, you talk to Aerith. That's when that takes place. So to me, it seems like we might have an early game encounter with Sephiroth in the remake. Also, when it comes to these Wraith things, whatever the hell they are, they're more than likely the modern interpretation of like the hooded, cloaked guys from the original game that are constantly talking about the reunion. And if that is the case, it's a very weird thing, but I'm not against it because it looks absolutely creepy. You could set up some pretty cool scenes with these ghost spirit things, or whatever the hell they are. And then, of course, at the end of the trailer, we get the big reveal of an actual release date for this game, March 3rd, 2020. And there you have it, guys, an in-depth breakdown of the trailer we got late last night for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Could not be more excited for whatever they're going to show us today, later today. Depending on what it is, we might have another video out later. It depends on how much there is and how much we got to break down. If not, there'll definitely be a video tomorrow, 100%. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. At my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a